Hi there, it's Clive here again with another meal replacement review. Yes, more and more companies are setting up, new startups are blossoming, especially in Europe, and I'm getting asked to do more and more reviews. And one such startup is a company called powdermatter.com. Powdermatter.com, a Dutch company. There seems to be a few, I think Shakes and a couple of the others are Dutch. And like the previous startup I did, Pucko, can't remember now. I'll double check the reviews in my list of videos. Like the previous one I've done, this is a brand new startup. I was contacted by the managing director, a guy called Dirk, for his meal replacement. As I say, it's called Powder Matter. Powder Matter. Now his meal replacements come in individual bags for each meal, which I think is quite handy, because you can just, rather than sort of make the meal up like I sometimes do and take to work sort of ready made, I can just take the bag, stick it in there, and then make it up at work when I'm good and ready. Now he's in the early stages of really sort of getting things off the ground here, so they don't have a meal shaker with it yet, but as you'll know, I've got a ton of meal shakers with these. Anyway, so what is it? Let's crack on. What is powdermatter.com? Well, as with my other reviews, a complete meal replacement in a bag. That's what it is. Basically, pre-mixed powders. You mix it with water or milk. I've never really done any with milk before. I should try that. And then it can be consumed as a meal. Now there is an issue with claiming something is a meal replacement powder with some sort of food authorities, and I know Soylent, which is the big one in America, had issues in Canada, and it was banned in Canada until they changed the ingredients. So certainly you've got to make sure that you're putting in all the sort of minerals and nutrients that your body would need in a conventional meal, or enough to at least get it over the line in terms of the European sort of food agency. And this is one such thing that they've sort of gone, they've done their homework, they've done their research, and they've made sure that it contains all the nutrients and vitamins, etc., so that it qualifies and they can call it a meal replacement shake. So that's it. They come in a variety of flavours. I've got the coconut here, of course the classic vanilla, which I'll be trying just so I can compare it. I've got a vegan one in smaller bags, which we'll look at later, and strawberry. So coconut, the vanilla and the strawberry, and they're working on a bar, and they're also working on a drink, which I quite like, the instant drinks as well, and the bars. I've been virtually living off the bars I bought recently because I've been in a hurry all the time, and they've done quite well. Anyway, so what's in here? Let's have a quick gander. As I said, it contains all the nutrients, vitamins, minerals your body needs. Each bag contains is 170 grams of powder. 170 grams of powder. You've got oatmeal, soy flour, maltodextrin, which is the common kind of delivery system for lots of these, whey protein concentrate, vitamin mineral powder mix, all your vitamins and stuff, and then the flavouring, and then they put the sweetener in this. There is a sweetener, sucralose, so that'll be interesting because I found in some powders probably too much sweetener, so I'm not a big fan of that. But we'll see if they've got the balance right on this one. So what makes this product particularly different? They claim here that they use premium products, which is always very good. It's competitively priced. It is competitively priced if you buy in bulk. I'll be honest, and I'll go through the pricing a little bit later. If you're buying just one-off bags, it is quite expensive, but if you're buying in bulk, then actually it works out quite cheap and very competitive indeed. In fact, if you buy, massively, you can get it down to about €1 per meal, which is pretty impressive. But you have to buy in bulk to sort of get that level. Anyway, so basically one meal contains 677 calories in the 170 grams that you get in each one. So that's kind of some of the main things. It's GMO free, it's gluten free, it's high in fibres, 14 grams per meal, and in protein. For those that, some people are extra protein. We don't get enough protein in our diets normally. 41 grams per meal. So that's quite good on that. Is it gluten free? Yes. The oatmeal as well as the soy flour used in this is certified as gluten free as well. So that's always good to know. So those are the main things. The idea is you don't have to think about it. They say that the logo here is, yeah, for sure, Dutch accent there, for sure, don't think, just drink. Okay, don't think, just drink. The idea is you don't have to think about it, drink it, your meal's sorted. So anyway, that's all the background, that's all the details. Check them out, powdermatter.com. Let's now go and do a taste test. I'm going to whip this up. I'm going to blitz it. He does say that that they're going for a few iterations of this, and he did recommend that you give it a good mix and a good blitz. So I'm going to do that in the old NutriBullet, and then I'll come back and we'll see what it tastes like. Okay. Okay. So I'm back, and I've blitzed it in the NutriBullet as he sort of recommends. The powder is really fine powder, so it's a lot finer than some of the powders, so they've really gone to an effort of really sort of mill it down into a nice fine powder. So actually it should mix quite well. As I may have mentioned before, it's 500 mils of water with the mix, which is about the same levels that you do with Huel. So some have about 350 mils. You mix some powders, you mix with about 350 mils. Huel and this one is about 500 mils. So there you go. So let's give it it's all blitzed up. Let's give it a taste. This is the vanilla one. Strong. Get the the smell of vanilla, but there's a hint. Yeah, it's not like a super overpowering. You can certainly smell the vanilla, but it hasn't got that kind of super sweet. There's a sort of oaty edge to it. Okay, so that's interesting. Strong vanilla taste, actually. It has quite a strong vanilla taste. You can taste it's weird. Because it's milled down, it's very smooth, very liquidy. It's not as gloopy as some of the ones that I've had before. It's not quite as fluffy, if that makes sense, as I think what was the fluffy one? I can't remember now, but it was some of the fluff. But it's very smooth. It's much more smooth than some of the others I've had recently. You probably could do mix slightly less if you want, but I quite like that smoothness to it. As I say, it doesn't feel too thick at all, so I think it'll go down, and you will feel satiated because the pure volume of the liquid will kind of fill you up. I do get a taste of the sweetener, the aftertaste of the sweetener. Not as badly and as strongly as I do with the new Huel mix, but just a hint. But the sweetener itself isn't overpowering. It just gives enough to give the vanilla a bit of a kick. But with every sweetener I've ever tried, there's always a bit of a sweetener aftertaste, and so there's a little bit of that here. Yeah, I think it's milled really fine. So there's sort of some elements of the particles sort of floating in the liquid you can taste, but it's very smooth. That's my takeaway on this. A strong vanilla-y taste, slightly watery, but the payoff is it's a very smooth drink. It'd be interesting what it tastes like with milk. Dirk, in his nice letter to me here, the sort of guy that's starting up, says that his brother, I believe, mixes it with, bear with me, almond milk. So that may be quite interesting to try out with milk. But what I'm impressed with here is the smoothness. It'd be interesting to see if I left it for a while, if it settles a bit at all and separates. But you can see, because I've blitzed it, it's got like a kind of fluffy head to it, like a beer head. But because it's milled so fine, I'm not getting that sense that the powder itself is expanding, so it's sort of going down almost in a kind of very fine liquidy way. As I say, there is a hint of the particles there, of the elements of the powder, but you get a smooth taste. But all in all, not bad really. I think that's quite good. It'd be interesting to see, as I say, with all these things, I have a taste, and you get your initial response. The real test is A, can you finish the whole thing, and how do you feel about it? B, do you feel hungry 3 hours later, 2 hours later? And C, has it lasted, sort of throughout the week? So I'm going to do that. I'll try this throughout the week, the different ones. I'll come back and report. I've also got here in a sort of recyclable bag. So I mean, the one issue is obviously the environment with lots of these bags, but it is very handy, and in fairness, I do quite like that. That's my meal, shove it in the bag, make it up at work. Although it'd be interesting to see how I go with a normal shaker, and they are working on a shaker, and certainly if I use the one that came with the Bertrand, I think that would be pretty good. In here are two smaller versions, so more sort of snack level. It's a vegan one, Go Nuts. The vegan formula is completely different from the whey formula. It's based on a buckwheat and ground almond with soya protein isolate as its main protein source. Both buckwheat and the almond are certified organic, as well as alga DHA omega-3 mixed in here. Okay, and in here you've got two smaller bags which are 100 gram scoops, and that's 400 calories, and it's a fifth. So he's sort of given me a sample of the vegan version here in slightly smaller bags. Look like a drug dealer, these. Anyways, slightly smaller bags in here, and I guess that sort of acts as a snack, but also just as sort of a sample for me. So we'll try those as well. But all in all, not bad. Yeah, there's a bit of sort of powdery element to it, but generally quite smooth and liquidy, and not as thick as some of the others, which you may or may not like. But it goes down very easily. It's not a gloop, 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 gloop type thing. Very easy to drink. So in terms of if it delivers in the proteins and the multivitamins and all your other kind of nutritional needs, then it's quite easy to have beside you at work or whatever you're going to use it as a meal replacement for, to drink away. Anyway, that's that review. We'll do a further, more in-depth review later in the week when I've had chance. Quick thank you to everybody who's subscribed to the channel. If you haven't subscribed, then please hit that subscribe button. We're getting more and more subscribers. That's really great. And I love all the feedback I get. I try to respond when I can. And for those that think I waffle too much, sorry about that. This is the way I am. But hopefully I'll get to the point in the end. So please like, subscribe, comment below, and look out for the big one coming. Soylent is being launched in the UK, I think today. So I plan to be doing a review of that very soon. Until then, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking and all of that. and I'll see you later.